Thanks, Adrian, and a very good evening to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Well, when this fixture was originally scheduled 2 months ago, only for a frozen pitch to postpone it, Cheltenham Town had lost their last 4 league matches and were hovering just above the League One drop zone, while Sheffield Wednesday had just gone 15 unbeaten in the division and had the chance to go top with a win here. And that chance still holds true tonight for Darren Moore's Owls, but they've had 2 previous chances to leapfrog Plymouth to the summit in the past 8 days and failed both times at Barnsley and Forest Green, ending a 23-game run without defeat. So third time lucky. Well, the Robins are a far different proposition to face from what they were in January. 3 wins in their last 4 matches and only 1 goal conceded in that run. Wade Elliott now has his Cheltenham side 8 points clear of the relegation battle beneath them. Sheffield Wednesday will get us underway, kicking from right to left as we sit at the back of the main stand here at the completely Suzuki Stadium. To our left, the optimising IT stand, the small terrace stand that's about 10 rows deep with all the hardcore Cheltenham supporters, and to our right there's a good 12 to 1500 Sheffield Wednesday fans in the Hazelwood stand to our right. That's the end at Cheltenham in all red shirts and shorts with white socks. That's the end they'll be attacking in this first half. And the Weather Demons are doing their best to play havoc with this fixture, as it did back in January, because as Adrian Durham's been saying prior to kick-off, it is persisting down here in Gloucestershire. A proper leveller for both teams. Dave Edwards is alongside me for the night. I'll run you through the lineups in just a second. Cheltenham have a throw-in on the far side in front of the Colin Farmer stand. The dugouts are beneath us, with Wade Elliott and Darren Moore looking on as the ball is controlled by Dominic Iorfa, a little hesitantly, and the ball is straight out of play for another throw to Cheltenham, midway point of the Sheffield Wednesday half, down the far left-hand side, and it's going to be sent back in by Will Ferry. Gets it back from Liam Sercombe, the number 8 forward Cheltenham. Bit of space for Ryan Jackson, but the ball's played into Ryan Broom at the edge of the area, back to goal. Now he brings in Jackson, right-hand corner of the area, fires the ball across the face of goal, put too much pace on it, but it's kept in play by Ferry on the far side, tries to outrun the full-back and ends up nicking it in field for Alfie May, the man in such great goal-scoring form for Cheltenham. Looping cross into the box, cleared away by Sheffield Wednesday only briefly by Reece James, and now it's Ryan Jackson again on this near side, the Cheltenham right, tries to go on the outside of Johnson, and the ball's out for a throw. 0-0 with a minute and a half gone. Dave Edwards.
Terrific start by Cheltenham. They're on the front foot, both wing backs getting high up the pitch. Jackson putting in a terrific ball across the face of the Sheffield Wednesday goal. This Ferry picks up on the other side, but you can already see the conditions really difficult for both teams. A lot of standing water, the ball's not carrying through. It's going to be who handles the conditions the better.
Long throw from Jackson into the near post. It might drop outside the box, and it was lashed towards goal. It was Aidan Keener, the young Irishman who had the flashing strike at goal, but the flag went up against a Cheltenham player in front of him who was in an offside position, and so Sheffield Wednesday get a free kick. So I can quickly run you through the lineups. Cheltenham with Luke Southwood in goal, Sean Long, Caleb Taylor and Tom Bradbury in the back three, Ryan Jackson, Glenn Ray, who's coming tonight, Ryan Broom, Liam Sercombe and Will Ferry across midfield, and then Aidan Keener and Alfie May up top. For Sheffield Wednesday, David Stockdale recalled for his first league appearance since December. In front of him a back three of Liam Palmer, Dominic Iorfa and Reece James. In midfield, Jack Hunt, Will Volks, Tyreek Backinson, Barry Bannon, who's just become a father in the past 24 hours to a young son, Wilf, and Marvin Johnson, and then Lee Gregory and Michael Smith up top. And Sheffield Wednesday have a throw down the left-hand side towards that optimising IT stand. Down to our left-hand side, thrown in by Johnson for Bannon. Bannon gets it back left wing, digs out across to the far post, but Jack Hunt just couldn't get in on it, and Will Ferry will let it drift out of play for a Cheltenham throw on that far side. 3 gone on Talksport 2, 0-0.
Well, Barry Bannon there trying to be the creative spark that Sheffield Wednesday will need in this game, drifting out to that left-hand side, putting a good ball across the box. Unfortunately for Sheffield Wednesday, there's no one backing it in on the back post, and Will Ferry defended it really well.
Cheltenham's last game was a 3-1 win against Exeter. They've had a fantastic run of an awful long time without conceding a goal. They beat Fleetwood 1-0, drew 0-0 against Lincoln, and then won 3-0 at Peterborough, as Adrian was saying before that. 3-1 success here against the Grecians. Ryan Jackson lobs the ball down the left-hand side. Alfie May comes short to pick it up left-hand corner of the box, trying to get Liam Palmer backpedaling, running across the 18-yard line, makes space for the shot and forces Stockdale into a fantastic save, turning behind for Cheltenham's first corner of the night. Alfie May trying to make it 5-5, but denied by the returning Stockdale. 0-0. Corner taken short very quickly, and it's Alfie May to work it back to the edge of the area. Ryan Broom runs into Reece James, and suddenly there's a counter-attack on for Sheffield Wednesday. Will Volks is striding forward. Johnson making a great run to the edge of the area, picks it up left-hand side. The first touch let him down a little bit, and then the challenge from Liam Turcombe took the ball away from him on this very difficult playing surface as the rain continues to hammer down here at the Completely Suzuki. Tidied up in the centre of midfield by Backinson, and then Will Volks hits one into the trees behind the stand, and it stays 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Oh, where do we start? End-to-end stuff already, but Alfie May for Cheltenham, this is what he's all about. There's a ball over the top, and Alfie May made such an early run that caught the Sheffield Wednesday defence off guard, and when he got the ball then, he wasn't content with just getting it to his feet. He had to run at defenders, create himself that half a yard on the edge of the box, and unleashed a venomous strike heading towards the top left corner. David Stockdale had to be at his best to palm it out for a corner, and then Sheffield Wednesday counter-attack quickly off that corner after that. And Will Volks picked out Johnson, but his first touch let him down and let Cheltenham off the hook.
0-0 on Talksport 2. Cheltenham, remember, 8 points clear of the relegation zone, and Stockdale has already got his kit dirty with that flying save to deny Alfie May. Hits the ball long downfield. Very, very greasy surface. The rain really is hammering down. There's little bits of standing water here and there. Sometimes the run of the ball isn't completely true. It's not Keystone Cop stuff quite yet, but if the rain continues at this pace, remains to be seen how much good the drainage on this modern road pitch can take it.
It's been relentless for the last hour, and the pitch isn't taking it well at the moment. We saw really early on in the game, Dom Iorfa went to clear the ball, but the bounce just killed it completely, caught him off guard. You're going to see a lot more of that. It's a night for the slide tackles, most certainly.
Sheffield Wednesday fire the ball up to halfway, but it's volleyed back towards Alfie May, but an important interception by Iorfa just ahead of his own 18-yard line. Otherwise, Alfie May was sprinting in behind to try and force a one-on-one with David Stockdale. May goes again as Ryan Broom tries to loft it downfield, but it's hit too long and too straight and comfortable for Stockdale to claim. He's only played one match for Sheffield Wednesday in this calendar year, David Stockdale. That was the defeat to Fleetwood in the FA Cup. Kept 11 clean sheets in 21 appearances prior to being dropped for Cameron Dawson in December, for league duties at least. Was with the other goalkeeper, Luke Southwood, at the other end for Cheltenham Town, on loan from Reading for the season. He's kept 14 clean sheets so far this year, and he clears the ball and it almost rebounded off Lee Gregory back towards the net, but instead Ryan Jackson works it down the Cheltenham right. Keenan trying to get the better of Reece James, but good defending by Reece James, and now Johnson will give it back to him. Right hand corner of his own penalty box. Ball runs true to Stockdale, who can clear first time left-footed, drops in the centre circle of Bannon. Bannon immediately looked to see where Michael Smith was, makes a run down the left-hand side, but again that pass is hit too line straight and claimed by Southwood. 7 gone on Talksport 2, 0-0.
It's been a really entertaining start to the game. Both teams trying to play that attacking football. The through balls are going to be difficult with it. In such a greasy surface, need to be a little bit more guile from the passer. I must say Cheltenham are the ones who have made that better start. The link-up play between Aidan Keeder and Alfie May in particular up front for Cheltenham looks good already. Both of them finding pockets of space and linking up well.
Southwood clears first time up towards the halfway line. Volks wins the initial header, but then Glenn Ray gets a header in on loan from Luton Town. Made a couple of starts since coming on loan and getting some vital minutes on his way back from injury. He's playing because Elliot Bonds is away on international duty with Guyana. Free kick for Wednesday up to the edge of the penalty area. Will it drop for a blue and white striped shot? No. And so Ryan Jackson will clear up to halfway. Aidan Keenan trying to make a nuisance of himself in front of Reece James, but Keenan can't get the better of James. But Stockdale's clearance lands in between the two technical areas, and Cheltenham get a throw bang on halfway, 0-0.
They're still fast and frantic. The Cheltenham front two I just mentioned a minute ago closing down so quickly. Aidan Keenan leading that press on that occasion. The ball goes back to Stockdale, but Alfie May's already travelling to put him under pressure. Sheffield Wednesday really going to have to be at their best.
May again trying to get in behind Reece James and volleys it wide. Ball just hit over the top by Sercombe from just ahead of the centre circle, spotting the run of May inside right of the penalty area. Ball was coming across his body, couldn't quite get it on target, but certainly got some venom behind it, 0-0.
Terrific spot by Liam Sercombe for Alfie May's run as it travelled across him. A difficult technique as the ball comes across your body. Hit it first time on the full.
May again trying to get away from Reece James down this near side. Very nearly did, but slipped as he looked like it initially got away. Now Keenan being asked to give chase down the right-hand side, being pressurised by Dominic Iorfa, who did really well for Sheffield Wednesday, and the giant Iorfa fires the ball downfield over the head of Lee Gregory. Michael Smith giving chase, but this time it's worked by Caleb Taylor, son of Martin Taylor, former Blackburn and Birmingham centre-half, plying his trade here at Cheltenham Town, and his clearance goes out for a throw over on the far side. 10 minutes gone on Talksport 2 in this frantic opening, both in terms of play and the weather. Cheltenham Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Here is Reece James working the ball back for Iorfa inside his own half. Now Marvin Johnson playing in this left wing back role for the Owls. Just for the first time tonight, almost, it seems the pace slows to walking pace, and Caleb Taylor will fire the ball down this near touchline, but straight back onto the instep of Marvin Johnson, and then Gregory making a nuisance of himself down the left hand side, picks out Bannon swirls across to the far post, and it's kept in play. Is it by Ferry? No, he put it out for a corner kick, and Sheffield Wednesday have their first corner kick of the night at 0-0.
Yeah, as the passage of play slowed down a little bit, I do think that will suit Sheffield Wednesday, allowing them to use the quality they have. The more frantic the game is, it allows Cheltenham to put a lot more pressure on that Sheffield Wednesday defence. But Barry Bannon on that occasion once again drifting out into this left hand channel, trying to cross the ball deep, and then Will Ferry, the left wing back of Cheltenham, does well just to see it out for a corner.
That's Dave Edwards, you can hear alongside me Ian Dancer, former Wolves and Wales midfielder, as Barry Bannon, a one-time Scottish midfielder, takes the corner kick, left-footed in, swinging to the near post, headed out to the edge of the box. Johnson tries to get a piece of it, but hacked at it, and it's skied over the bar and well wide for a Cheltenham Town goal kick. 11 and a half gone on Talksport 2 in torrential rain in Gloucestershire. Cheltenham Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Also, not just Barry Bannon with news of the birth of his son Wilf. Note today that Harry Kane's got a fourth child on the way. He announced it earlier that it's all coming at roses for Harry Kane at the moment.
It certainly is. Records and children, but keep him entertained anyway.
Goal kick from Southwood. Just holds up a little bit in the swirling wind around this stadium on the halfway line, and our referee tonight, who is Paul Howard, has given a free kick Cheltenham's way, and it's been taken too quickly for the referee's liking, because he wants to have a word with Lee Gregory about the challenge he put in the centre circle. And so Caleb Taylor will have another look at sending this free kick towards the right hand corner of the box, aiming for Ryan Jackson, but comfortably headed clear for Wednesday by Marvin Johnson. And to throw to the Robins on this near side, to be taken by Ryan Jackson. Brooms come short. Also May hovering down the right hand side of the box. That's the target. Takes the ball on his chest, but was he pushed? He was, says the assistant, on this near side by Reece James. So Cheltenham Town now have a free kick, about 10 yards from the dead ball line, and just in from this near right hand touch line. 0-0.
There's clever play by Alfie May. Had the ball thrown into him and waited for the contact from Reece James. Bit naive really from Reece James to get too close, and as soon as he feels that contact, Alfie May goes down, gets his side a free kick. But just look at the size of the Sheffield Wednesday team.
Yeah, they are giants, led by Iorfa, but this Backinson's quite tall. Johnson's quite tall. Bannon sticks out like a sore thumb by comparison. So Circum is standing over this, so too is Ferry, so it would be a right or left-footed delivery from this right-hand side. It's Ferry who delivers it deep to the far post. Up go the heads, and it went over the head of Tom Bradbury up from the back for Cheltenham, and Sheffield Wednesday have a goal kick. 14 minutes gone, 0-0. Don't forget, we've got more Super League for you tomorrow night on Talksport. So you heard from Mark Wilson earlier. He'll be back in tandem with Paul Cook tomorrow. Lee Leopards against the Wigan Warriors is our offering from Super League tomorrow night. Make sure you're with us from 7 for that. Now here's Lee Gregory for Sheffield Wednesday at 0-0. Playing the ball along the halfway line for Reece James, coming forward down the left-hand side. Back in field for Will Vaulks, who moves into the centre of the half. Thought he was going to shoot from distance for a moment, but instead he floats it out to the right-hand side for Bannon. But Bannon showed too much of that for Ferry, and then clipped Ferry's heels as he got away, at least initially, down the left-hand side. Free kick to the home side, 0-0.
Yeah, loose touch by Barry Bannon out on that right-hand side. You don't see that very often, but in the build-up to that passage of play, Cheltenham are really trying to get pressure on Sheffield Wednesday in the midfield, and a sublime little Cruyff touch from Barry Bannon just opens the pitch up completely, allows Sheffield Wednesday to expand. Then all of a sudden they get a bit more time on the ball then. Just that little bit of creativity that the diminutive Scotsman gives you.
Quarter of an hour gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Free kick for Cheltenham downfield. As Liam Palmer has to quickly turn and fire the ball downfield under pressure from Alfie May. And then there's a push on a Sheffield Wednesday player just shy of the halfway line. Gives the Owls a free kick. And remember, it was 23 games unbeaten in the league for Sheffield Wednesday prior to the back-to-back defeats. And every team has a blip at pretty much every level, Dave Edwards. It's not that surprising that teams lose back-to-back, even at the end of a 23-game unbeaten run.
No, it certainly is. It's just how long that blip lasts usually tells you how the team's going to perform in the season. But Sheffield Wednesday, after quite a tough start where Cheltenham are out the blocks quickly, they have settled into this game well now. Sheffield Wednesday controlling the ball a little bit more, just need to get their front two into the game a little bit more.
Palmer thumps a long ball downfield. Southwood comes to the edge of his area and elects to punch. Didn't get too much distance on it, and it's back with Marvin Johnson approaching the left-hand corner of the box for Sheffield Wednesday, trying to go on the outside of Jackson. Wins a corner off Sean Long. Wednesday's second corner of this first half. 0-0 on Talksport 2, 16 gone.
Yeah, I just spoke about getting the front two, Lee Gregory and Michael Smith, into the game a little bit more, and they went back to front on that occasion. Sheffield Wednesday causing Southwood to come out and punch the ball, but it just meant that Cheltenham dropped that notably 5-10 yards deeper, and it allows Sheffield Wednesday to get into better positions.
As Barry Bannon again, this time a left-footed outswinger with the main stand meets the optimised IT stand. He goes deep to the far post. Vaulks was up there, also brought down by Liam Palmer in the right wing position, getting down towards the opposite corner flag, and it slid out of play by Glenn Ray for a throw. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Slid out of play by Glenn Ray. Throw in on the right hand side, which will be taken for Sheffield Wednesday about 2 yards from the corner flag. Plenty inside the area. Iorfa's stayed forward. Might be a target. It's headed out back towards that corner flag, and will be a corner kick for Sheffield Wednesday as they continue to apply a little bit of pressure on Cheltenham Town here at 0-0.
Yeah, a lot of Sheffield Wednesday's success this season has been how good they've been in both boxes, both defensively and attacking, keeping the pressure on, not just with Barry Bannon's corners but also Will Vaulks' long throw.
Bannon again then with a corner kick. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger this time, where the Colin Farmer stand meets the IT stand. Good delivery into the near post, but well headed clear by Caleb Taylor. Comes out to the edge of the area. Vaulks tried to drive and it's blocked away, and Aidan Keener has possession, drills it up to the halfway line along the deck, looking for Alfie May, but Reece James is there to comfortably get there first for Sheffield Wednesday. And given away by Iorfa, and Broom just lays it off to a teammate, gets it back, neat skill, and gets Ferry away down the left-hand side. Ball drilled into the area looking for Alfie May, but it's overhit. Will stay in play down by the corner flag on this near side, and Reece James can only put the ball out of play. Got Marvin Johnson, forgive me, took the ball straight out of play for a Cheltenham throw in a dangerous position, 0-0.
Marvin Johnson trying to be a little bit too clever right by the corner flag. trying to nip it past Jackson instead of clearing his lines again up the field, and he gives Cheltenham an opportunity to get the ball into the box. Jackson has got a long throw, but I'd be surprised they do fling it in there with the size of the Sheffield Wednesday back line.
Well, he's drying the ball on his jersey. It'd take him half an hour to dry this ball. No matter how many towels he's got. Let's see what distance he can get on this throw. It's good distance, just beyond the penalty spot. Headed away by Iorfa. Drops the left-hand corner of the box, and a better clearance this time by Marvin Johnson for Sheffield Wednesday. Bounces past his manager. Hood up. Darren Moore tonight. Still can't miss him. The giant, you know him well. Big Dave.
Yeah, he's
Little Dave to Big Dave.
Yeah, I've had quite a few conversations over the years. Such a nice bloke, which is well known in football, but also knows his football as well. I've had conversations with him about tactical side of things, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, and you can see that this season with his Sheffield Wednesday side.
Remember, they still have the best away record in League One, despite those back-to-back defeats that we brought you on Talksport 2 at Barnsley and Forest Green. 10 away wins and 4 draws. Also 21 clean sheets in League One this season, which is a club record, and comfortably the best record in this division this campaign. And yet they're still not top of the table. But that's the prize if they get 3 points tonight. And Barry Bannon trying to make his way past Glenn Ray, but he's just clipped the heels of Ray. And Ray wins a free kick for Cheltenham at 30 yards from his own goal. 0-0 the score. Dave Edwards.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday have definitely settled into this game a lot better in the last 10 minutes. But Cheltenham will be pleased with the way they've equipped themselves. Not as many opportunities in recent minutes, but they can get their foot on the ball and play the ball quickly. Whilst Sheffield Wednesday side isn't back in their shape, they are going to get opportunities, in particular the movement of their front to Aidan Keener and Alfie May. They've looked dangerous already.
Keener's the target for this free kick from Southwood. Goes up, he gets the header, knocks it infield, but it will drop for Will Volks. Cleared downfield by Marvin Johnson. Iorfa, corner of his own penalty area. And they tried to play some triangles of passing, and the playing surface let them down a little, and it just trickled off the edge of Reece James's boot and out for a throw. Now Keener, right at level of the edge of the area, whips the ball in beyond the far post and out of play in the end for a goal kick. Aidan Keener's a player you when he was at Sligo Rovers, you came into contact with him.
Well, I didn't get that close to him, I would say.
This was a Shrewsbury game, right?
No, it's Ballatown. So we actually in the European Conference at the start of this year, we had a qualifying game against Sligo Rovers. Aidan Keener played, scored against us in the first leg. Actually went to penalties after the second leg away in Sligo, and he scored his penalty as well. But yeah, he was a terrific player. You could tell he was ready to make the step up into the English pyramid. Link plays so well. And you can see that with Alfie May already. He's the one who might drop into that number 10 position. Plays clever balls first times round the corner. And he'll be delighted he got his goal last week, which kind of gets him off the mark and gives him a little bit more confidence.
And here he is bringing the ball out of the sky superbly and working it out to Jackson on this near side for Cheltenham, almost at the level of the edge of the area. Jackson puts the ball into the box, headed up by Iorfa, drops for Circum at the far post, misses his shot. Keener, another brilliant save by Stockdale as Keener just tried his luck with a pot shot from around the penalty spot. Stockdale flying to his left, kept it out one-handed and grabs hold of the loose ball. 0-0.
That's all about Aidan Keener. Long clearance, he pulls it down out of the air, close control, goes past 2 Sheffield Wednesday players, gets it out wide, gets himself in the box, and as the ball comes back in, Circum misfires his shot, but it arrives back at Keener on his left foot. Solid shot just to the left of David Stockdale. That's had a strong right arm to push it away, but excellent from Aidan Keener.
He scored 21 goals in 37 appearances at Sligo before he joined Cheltenham Town in January. Aidan Keener played for a few Scottish clubs as well, including Falkirk in the early part of his career. He's 23 now, Keener, and he is causing a nuisance up front, giving Sheffield Wednesday something to think about in their back three. We've reached the midway point of the first half on Talksport 2. Cheltenham Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Remember, the prize for Sheffield Wednesday to get the 3 points here is to go top of League One. But Ryan Broom carrying the ball forward for Cheltenham, flicks it out to the right wing. Alfie May, faced up by Reece James, gets into the box, drives it goals, and another great save from Stockdale. Stays in play far side. It's with Will Ferry. He's got support who wants to use it from Tom Bradbury. Perry tries to go on the outside of his man, but it's gone over the dead ball line. And once again, David Stockdale justifying his recall. He's made 3 great saves in this opening quarter, 0-0.
Certainly has, and Cheltenham has sparked themselves back into life. Alfie May once again gets the ball in this right channel. He only has one thing on his mind, that is to drive into the box, shifts it onto his left foot, and unleashes a venomous shot towards that far corner. Brought the best out of David Stockdale again.
Was led to go out of play by Caleb Taylor. You're listening to Cheltenham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the EFL League One Live on Talksport 2 with Carling. We're made by our mates, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Don't forget the EFL action continues Friday night from 7 o'clock here on Talksport 2. Burnley against Sunderland at Turf Moor. Mark Wilson and Mickey Gray, your commentary team. Currently Ryan Jackson just picking himself off the turf. Stockdale puts the ball out of play, thinking that Jackson, he does need treatment, just sat himself back down in his own half, the Cheltenham right wing back, and he's going to need some treatment. And so a lot of players come to this near touchline to take on some instructions from their respective managers, Wade Elliott and Darren Moore. So I was mentioning Burnley Sunderland Friday night at 7, and then we've got Showdown Saturday across the Talksport network on Saturday from 11 o'clock. Game day starts on Talksport. What a game. Manchester City against Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium. Reshman Chowdhury hosting. Sam Matterface has got 2 co-commentators with him. He's got Stuart Pearce and Charlie Adam along for the ride. At the same time, that kicks off at 12:30. Also at 12:30, I'll be at Kenilworth Road for the dust-up between Luton and Watford. There's 2 clubs that really do not like each other, and that game kicks off at 12:30 in the Championship. Myself and David Connolly will be there, and me and DC will also be manacled together for the Papa John's Trophy Final, live on Talksport 2 Sunday afternoon. Our coverage begins at 2 p.m. Plymouth Argyle against Bolton Wanderers. Well over 70,000 tickets sold for that final already, and there's still, 3 or 4 days to go. Might get close to breaking that record that Portsmouth and Sunderland had a few years ago in the final of that competition. Still haven't got back underway here. Ryan Jackson's only just got back to his feet, and I think, David Edwards, Cheltenham are thinking about making the substitution that Jackson's not going to be able to continue.
Yeah, well, he wasn't sure if he was going to be fully fit for this game. Ryan Jackson, looks like it is going to be the case. He's going to have to come up. He'll be disappointed. He's had a good start down this right-hand side for Cheltenham. Got into some dangerous positions and linked well with the forward players. Looks like they're going to be bringing on midfielder Taylor Perry.
Yeah, Taylor Perry, 21 on a second loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers, club you know well, of course, Dave. Had his first loan here a couple of years back in 2021. He's got a couple of goals, including one against Plymouth in January. So Jackson off and Perry on, so we've got a Perry and a Ferry out there. Great.
It just means a little change in personnel, the way they're setting up. Ryan Broom, who was playing as the attacking midfielder, he's dropped out to this right-hand side now to take the place of Jackson, with Taylor Perry going into that number 10 position for Cheltenham.
As we're back underway, Sheffield Wednesday 0-0, and coming forward with Reece James trying to whip a ball in from the left-hand side. It ricochets off Sean Long and goes out for another corner. Make that Wednesday's 4th of this opening half hour. Away to our left-hand side, 0-0 the score.
They haven't been able to make any of these corners count as of yet, Sheffield Wednesday. They've been mixing up, they've been trying to drive it high up to the back post to let the Sheffield Wednesday attackers attack it, and on the other side it's been Barry Bannon trying to whip it underneath the bar.
Well, Bannon's waiting at the edge of the area. It's hit him right-footed by Volks, headed straight out for another corner. Sheffield Wednesday's 5th of the half, and Volks will have it again, but Marvin Johnson's now joined him for a potential short corner routine at that terraced end of the ground away to our left, and he's picked it up. Marvin Johnson hits the cross to the far post, looking for it. Orford just got away from him, and Backinson was in there too. Palmer keeping the ball alive down by the corner flag on the opposite side of the field for Sheffield Wednesday. Tries to nutmeg the defender, but he's not managed to successfully do so, and then it's hit down to the halfway line, where Reece James volleys it back downfield with interest and forces Tom Bradbury to put the ball out for a Sheffield Wednesday throw, to the encouragement of the Wednesday fans away to our right. 26 gone, 0-0. It's going to be Liam Palmer to send the throw in. Will this break for Backinson? Tries to hit the shot at it, deflects up in the air, drops for Marvin Johnson at the edge of the area, and it ricochets off Ryan Broom and out for yet another Sheffield Wednesday corner. They've had half a dozen now.
Yeah, piling on the pressure, keeping these attacks alive.
Short corner again. It will be teased in deep to the far post by Volks, and overhit this time, and it will be a goal kick to Cheltenham Town. You heard the ways of the locals, happy with the overhit delivery there from the left-hand side for Sheffield Wednesday. These two teams have met here just once before. That was in October 2021. It was 2-2 in the end, when Matty Blair of Cheltenham had an own goal and then equalised in the last 10 minutes for the Robins. And that draw I remember because Darren Moore and the players got some criticism for the way they were performing. They were 5 points off the playoffs at that time after 4 straight draws, and that was the first time when Darren Moore came under serious scrutiny from the Wednesday faithful. But they persisted with him, and here he is trying to get his team back to the top of the table. 0-0. Johnson works the ball in field to Tyreek Backinson. He did think about a shot, but he just didn't seem to have the confidence to let it go from 30 yards out. It's broken for Barry Bannon anyway. On the Wednesday right, plays the ball along the deck to the edge of the area. Held up by Michael Smith or Lee Gregory. Can he get the shot away? No, he works it for Marvin Johnson. Johnson, left-hand side of the area, tries to drive it across the face of goal. Bannon trying to get a foot in. Shot from Volks is blocked at source. Volks again. Bannon lays it off to Backinson. Backinson chips the ball into the area, volleyed away, but again only as far as Bannon. The pressure continues, slid into the area by Barry Bannon. Vital foot in by Caleb Taylor. Wednesday fans claiming for an offence, but the ball's just lumped downfield, and Keena forces Iorfa to head the ball out of play for a Cheltenham Town throw. 0-0, bit of respite for the Robins. Yeah,
wave after wave of attacks for Sheffield Wednesday. Desperate defended at times by Cheltenham, but managing to keep the ball out and not allowing Sheffield Wednesday to get any clear-cut chances. There's a moment there where the ball bounced up and it looked like it struck Caleb Taylor's hand. The referee didn't see enough in it. But from the clearance though, you saw Aidan Keena chase it down, put Dominic Iorfa under pressure, and it just allows Cheltenham just to take a little bit of time, get themselves up the pitch.
Well, don't forget we're in a VAR-free zone here, thankfully, in the EFL. So what the referee sees is what the referee gives. No penalty awarded. 0-0 it stays. Cheltenham Town trying to come forward down the left-hand side with Will Ferry. Cross into the area, headed away by Palmer. Only out to the left-hand side of the box. It's volleyed back in by Bradbury. Great tenacity by Taylor Perry, who's just come on as a substitute. And it's back with Liam Sercombe, 30 yards out. Rolls it across to Alfie May. May looks for a handball off Reece James. That's not given either. And Sheffield Wednesday will clear their lines, and they will ask Lee Gregory to give chase. Caleb Taylor gets there just in front of him, knocks it back to his keeper. Awkward first touch, and very nearly had it taken off his toe by Lee Gregory. Out for a throw. 0-0, 32 gone.
It's not the first time that Southwood in the Cheltenham goal has been put under pressure, having to put a lot of pace on the back passes, which means that he has to take a touch, and that just allows the Sheffield Wednesday strikers to get the chance to put pressure on it, but he gets away with it on that occasion.
Smith down the right-hand side for Sheffield Wednesday, but poor first touch, goes straight out for a throw on that far side. 0-0 here. Ian Dancer and David Edwards with you. Adrian's here with us as well. He'll pick up at half-time. Of course, Saturday Showdown includes boxing, starting on Talksport 2 at 7 o'clock at the O2, and the headline attraction is, of course, Anthony Joshua's return to the ring. Jermaine Franklin, his opponent. Talksport will pick up the coverage from 9 p.m, but the undercard starts on Talksport 2 at 7 from the O2 Arena. Here's Sean Long hitting the ball up to halfway, just skips away from Taylor Perry, but very quickly onto it was Aidan Keena, and he was trying to look for his strike partner Alfie May, who doesn't score tap-ins. All he seems to score are worldies. There was a goal here against Fleetwood, I think, one of the most beautifully controlled volleys I've seen all season from Alfie May. 4 in 4 for him, but the pass from Keena couldn't find him. Stockdale, who's made 3 excellent saves for Sheffield Wednesday in this first half hour, and is recalled to the starting lineup. Finds Liam Palmer down the far right-hand side. Early ball looking for Michael Smith, but it sails over his head and one bounce, and it's through to Luke Southall. 0-0.
While Sheffield Wednesday having the bulk of the territory this game, they haven't managed to work Luke Southwood at all. Michael Smith hasn't been in the game. Lee Gregory hasn't been in the game. They've been getting corners and set pieces, but they're not able to really disrupt this Cheltenham back three and get their strikers involved as much as they'd like. It's Cheltenham on the counter-attack who are getting the chances with Alfie May and Aidan Keener.
That's David Edwards you can hear alongside me, Ian Dante here at the Completely Suzuki Stadium. A Sheffield Wednesday at 0-0 come forward, 11 to half-time. Bannon lays it off to infield to Volks. Now Backinson picks it up, centre of the Cheltenham half, plays it along the deck for Gregory at the edge of the area, swings it out to the left-hand side for Marvin Johnson, tries across, it's blocked at source, but then joining in is Reece James, firing the ball to the far post. It was a really dangerous cross, but bit too much pace on it for those who were trying to run in at the far post and stick it away. Instead it goes out on the far side for a Cheltenham Town throw, 0-0.
There's another opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday to get the ball into the box, but it's just a little bit too slow at the moment the way they're playing it. It allows Cheltenham to get back into their shape, and once they do get back into that back five and midfield three, it's so difficult to break down. Just feel like Sheffield Wednesday need to move the ball quicker through midfield, be more direct, and with their passing, pass at pace. Like I said, try and get those front two a bit into the game a little bit more, because at the moment they haven't had many touches whatsoever.
Reece James heads the ball up in the air on the halfway line. Iorfa inside his own half, finds Volks, just turns it round the corner for Palmer. Speaking of Palmer, our best wishes to Carlton Palmer, who, as you heard on Talksport with Jim White this morning, suffered a bit of a heart attack whilst he was competing in the Sheffield Half Marathon on Sunday. Former Sheffield Wednesday player, of course, Carlton Palmer, and our best wishes go to him in a speedy recovery. Bannon with the ball into the box for the Owls, cleared away by Bradbury, but comes back to Bannon, just nods it down intelligently for Backinson, but he's dispossessed by a combination of Perry and Sercombe, and the ball's worked back to Sean Long, the skipper. Now it's Ryan Broom sending the ball long downfield, asking Keener to give chase. Stockdale's come out of the area. Palmer hadn't realised at first, and Palmer just slides in and can't keep the ball in play on the far side. Not much communication between defender and goalkeeper there, 0-0.
There certainly wasn't. David Stockdale came out of the box a long way, and in the end Liam Palmer did terrifically well. David Stockdale is right on top of him. It looked like Palmer was going to try and head it back towards his own goal, but realised that Stockdale wasn't there, so he flicked it beyond himself and got it out for a throw. An excellent defender from Liam Palmer. He looks like he might have hurt himself as he slid off the pitch. There's no advertising hoardings on that far side, and he's gone straight down onto the concourse almost.
Yeah, but he's back on his feet and doesn't need any treatment. Rain's still coming down here, incidentally. Maybe not quite as torrential as it was at kick-off, but it's still coming down all right. 8.5 minutes to half-time. Cheltenham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, if you're just tuning into League One Live here at the Completely Suzuki Stadium. Now, Ryan Broom picks up the ball down the right-hand side, gets to the byline, dinks in a cross. It's headed out strongly by Palmer. Kept in play, but at the expense of giving it back to Cheltenham. Long up to the right-hand corner of the box. Now Taylor Perry on as a substitute for the injured Ryan Jackson early in the piece. In the end, it's forced out for a throw-in by Will Volks for Sean Long to take. That was good industry down the Cheltenham right by Ryan Broom in this new position, because of course, as you mentioned, Dave Edwards, he started in the number 10 role. Now he's playing right wing back.
Yeah, I'd say he's more of a right winger than anything else, but playing in more centrally in recent times. But he got himself high up on that right hand side for Cheltenham, put a good ball into the box. Alfie May went to the front post and Aidan Keener held out to the back, and they just needed a runner straight through the middle. And in the end, Liam Palmer it was again who cleared the ball for Sheffield Wednesday.
Remember, it was Cheltenham Town's best ever finish as a Football League club last season, 15th in this division. Michael Duff went off to Barnsley at the end of the season, and they were penalty kicks away from actually playing in the Papa John's Trophy final at Wembley this coming Sunday, live on Talksport 2. Plymouth did for them in the end, in the semi-final. I saw them beat Salford here in the in the quarter-finals. Excellent performance from Cheltenham that night. Luke Southwood volleys the ball downfield with 7 to half-time. Alfie May being manhandled by Liam Palmer, and he's still being manhandled as the free kick's given, and he's still got hold of Alfie May. I don't know why, because the free kick's been given. Just grappling with the Cheltenham number 10, and the referee wants a word with Liam Palmer for that.
There's frustration more than anything from Liam Palmer. It was a long clearance from the Cheltenham goalkeeper Southwood, and Alfie May straight away was trying to get contact with Liam Palmer so he couldn't come and head the ball. He did it ever so well, got his body between man and ball, and that meant that Palmer got a little bit desperate and had to foul Alfie May.
Well, he's played deaf there for a moment, Liam Palmer, thinking that the referee didn't want to work with him, but he always did, and he's been booked. And half of that booking for me, Dave Edwards, is down to the fact that he didn't engage with the referee at all and walked away.
Yeah, sloppy from Liam Palmer. I think it was the reaction after the foul had been given and then ignoring the referee.
So it's a free kick to Cheltenham Town, out to the left-hand side, about, 35, 40 yards out. And the vanishing spray's been put down. That won't last 5 seconds in this weather. And it will be a two-man Sheffield Wednesday wall, a good 2 yards in front of the 18-yard line. It's out to the left-hand side, so it favours a left-footed delivery, although Liam Sercombe standing over it as well. Could be a right-footed delivery. Plenty of movement at the far post. The centre halves are up from the back, and it will be Sercombe. Plays it down the left-hand side of the box. Chance to work the cross in from Will Ferry. Checks onto his right. Up goes the cross. It's headed away well from inside his own penalty area by Lee Gregory, back defending. Now Caleb Taylor tries to get a piece of it. Clear downfield in the end for a Wednesday throw. They defended that well. In particular, Lee Gregory back from centre forward to help his defenders out. 0-0.
He certainly digs it. It was well worked by Cheltenham. They're not just lumping the ball into the box. They know they're going to have to do something different to try and manoeuvre the Sheffield Wednesday defence around, and they did just that. And Will Ferry put an excellent ball into the box, but as you said, Lee Gregory helping his defence out.
Currently Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0 in the Women's Champions League quarter-final at the Emirates Stadium, so that's currently 1-1 on aggregate. So Jonas Eidevall's side level on aggregate. Meanwhile, back here at the Completely Suzuki, we've got less than 5 minutes to half-time. Cheltenham Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Ian Dancer and David Edwards with you. Adrian Durham is here too. And don't forget, game night on Monday. The post-Antonio Conte era at Tottenham begins with a trip to Everton, and Adrian will be at Goodison from 6 p.m. with Danny Murphy and Sam Matterface to recap all the weekend's talking points and then bring you exclusive live commentary of that game. Here's Sercombe coming forward for Cheltenham Town, trying to wrap his weaker left foot around the shot, but he went a good 4 or 5 yards wide for a Sheffield Wednesday goal kick. 0-0. Bumped downfield by Stockdale, bounces over the head of Smith. Gregory tried to pick up the second ball. Smith again gets a head to it at the edge of the box, but it won't drop for Gregory. Again, just bounces through to Luke Southwood, who clutches hold of it gratefully. Rain finally starting to ease, Dave Edwards.
It is just about. It's still very wet though, but both the Cheltenham strikers are doing so well there, giving away a lot of height against this Sheffield Wednesday backline, but they use their bodies so well. Alfie May trying to make defenders, just done it again on that occasion to Reece James. Aidan Keener's the same.
Oh, good skill from Sercombe, managed to work the ball through the eye of a needle, and then Keener is flattened by Iorfa. Free kick to Cheltenham Town, just ahead of the central part of the Wednesday half of the field, and again a chance for the Robins to work the ball into the Wednesday box. 0-0.
Yeah, and once again it comes from a goal kick from Luke Southwood. You'd expect Sheffield Wednesday to be able to go and win that first ball, but time after time it's the front two of Cheltenham not allowing them to get that first contact on the ball, and then that gives Cheltenham a platform to build from. It was Sercombe who got onto that second ball on that occasion. Lovely bit of skill, gets a foul for his side. It'll be interesting to see now. Cheltenham free kick.
Sercombe standing over it, just to the right of centre. Ferry is there as well for a potential left-footed delivery. Wednesday holding their line at the edge of the box. In it comes from Ferry. Dig to the far post. It's touched goalwards by Tom Bradbury. And again, Stockdale had to make a save at his near post. And it's cleared up to halfway. But Taylor Perry fires it back towards the Wednesday box. Headed up in the air by Reece James. Sercombe flew in for a header, couldn't win it. Marvin Johnson did enough. Now Reece James again will try and clear for Wednesday, and he's got Michael Smith away in a bit of space down the left-hand side. Smith just holds his run for a moment, looks to fire it to Barry Bannon. Lovely pass. Bannon, he's got Palmer on the overlap across the face of goal, and Southwood holds on to it at the near post. That's the best we've seen from Sheffield Wednesday in an attacking sense, and we're 2 minutes from half-time. 0-0.
Yeah, it's the first time that Michael Smith found any space. He was in that left channel, and then super centre forward play holds the ball up well, switches the play to the far side. Barry Bannon picks it up, slides Jack Hunt down into that right hand channel on the other side, but it's a poor cross, easy for Luke Seifert to gather. Once again, they don't do enough with that opportunity, not a good enough ball into the box.
So it's out of play for a throw to Cheltenham Town, to be taken by captain Sean Long, pointing where he wants Taylor Perry to be. Perry flicks it on, it will drop for Reece James, lobs it forward onto the chest of Michael Smith. Smith looks for his strike partner Gregory. Hunt's making another run forward, but it's a foul on Gregory, and that is going to be a yellow card for Caleb Taylor, I think it was. Indeed it was Caleb Taylor who went in strongly on Gregory, and now Sheffield Wednesday have a free kick, dead centre, about 30-35 yards out, 0-0.
It was taking a while, but Michael Smith got into the game a little bit after that chance a second ago. On this occasion he brings the ball down in midfield, releases his strike partner Gregory, who just to lose a tackle from Caleb Taylor, has to bring him down, takes a booking.
So Barry Bannon quite obviously standing over the free kick, and the Cheltenham wall is being arranged inside the D. Gives you an idea of just how far out this free kick is, but it is pretty central. Favours either a right or a left-footed effort, you say. Southwood standing in the centre of his goal. We're just moving into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time here on Talksport 2 at the end of this first half, with the score at 0-0. Volks might fancy a crack at goal as well. He's standing over this free kick. There's a four-man Cheltenham wall. It's Bannon round the wall and just round the post. So close from Barry Bannon. Southwood was flying to his right, but it wasn't on target. Ends up being a goal kick for Cheltenham Town. 0-0.
Yeah, Barry Bannon got the trajectory right. He got it up and over the wall, but just went past the left-hand post. Luke Seifert's goal looked like he had it covered all the way. Didn't look too worried about it as he let it go harmlessly wide in the end. But once again, it's Sheffield Wednesday getting into good areas but not making it count at the moment. Haven't worked Southwood as of yet.
Headed down from Backinson on halfway. Hunt is after the loose ball, but it will drop for Will Ferry instead. He plays the ball in field for Cheltenham, straight onto the head of Volks. Bannon with a superb first touch, turns and looks downfield, looks to see where Gregory and Smith are. Gregory almost found it, but Cheltenham win the ball back. Ray, neat turn to get away from Bannon, and slips in Taylor Perry. Perry with a lovely ball to release down the left-hand side. Will Ferry and Glenn Ray now getting involved. Ray works it to the right-hand corner of the box in Alfie May. May's got Sean Long on the overlap, doesn't use him, he's a decoy. May has it again, now tries to go on the outside of Reece James, fires the cross against James, and then Sean Long tries to put a cross in. It's blocked again, still at the right-hand corner of the box, with Taylor Perry tries to shift the ball out of his feet, gets half a yard, clips the cross in, but it's a comfortable claim by David Stockdale at his far post. 0-0 it stays, and Stockdale's long throw has got Jack Hunt away. Lovely ball in field for Barry Bannon, scheming towards the edge of the area, in for Michael Smith down the right hand side, across the face of goal. It's behind Gregory. Johnson can't get a piece of it, and Cheltenham clear their lines. Comes back to Will Volks, to the edge of the centre circle. Tyreek Backinson finds Bannon again, 30 yards out. Only option to his left is Marvin Johnson. Johnson plays the ball back in field for Will Volks. Volks looks to send the ball goalwards, and it tipped over by Luke Southwood. Late corner at the end of the half for Sheffield Wednesday. Volks just tried his luck from 30 yards out, and it might well have been tipping under the crossbar had Southwood not got a touch. 0-0.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday's best moments of the half. First they had a well-constructed attack. They countered quickly. I said they need to move the ball through midfield quick, and they did so on this occasion. And it arrives at Barry Bannon on the edge of the box, and the most deliciously weighted ball through to Michael Smith, I think it was. But he chooses the wrong option, doesn't go for goal, tries to cut it back. It gets cut out and cleared. It does arrive at Will Volks, who hits them from distance on many an occasion, and this time it looked like it was heading to the far top right corner, and Seifert just tipped it over the bar. Better stuff from Sheffield Wednesday.
Right to the end of minimum stoppage time, a corner to Sheffield Wednesday. Away to our left, it's Bannon to swing it under the crossbar, headed away from under the crossbar by Bradbury, and the referee signals the end of a frantic first half in difficult playing conditions. And Sheffield Wednesday, as it stands, are not going to be going back to the top of the League One table. The applause you can hear around us here at the Completely Suzuki for a spirited effort from Cheltenham Town. who have kept David Stockdale on his return to the Sheffield Wednesday goal very, very busy in this opening 45 minutes. Stockdale making 2 or 3 excellent saves in that opening period. As you just heard at the end of the half, Will Volks testing Luke Southwood with a long-range effort. But they've taken a while to get going, Sheffield Wednesday, but this game is still there to be won. At half-time, here in Gloucestershire, it's Cheltenham Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Thanks, Adrian. 5,433 have joined us at the Completely Suzuki, including at least 12, maybe 1,500 Sheffield Wednesday fans that have made the trip down from South Yorkshire. Cheltenham get us back underway in their red shirts and shorts and white socks, attacking from right to left as we look from our commentary position in the press box. In the main stand to our left, the optimising IT stand, that small terrace stand where the hardcore Cheltenham support are, and the travelling Wednesday support to our right in the Hazelwood stand end that Sheffield Wednesday in their blue and white stripes are attacking in the second half. Running through the lineups in a minute, but Cheltenham have won themselves a throw-in near side that Alfie May takes quickly. It's worked infield to Liam Sercombe, bit of quick feet from him, helped out by Will Ferry. Sercombe again sees a ricochet pass, find Alfie May on the left-hand touchline, and then it's just helped down the left-hand side by Tom Bradbury, looking for Liam Sercombe. That's well cleared by Liam Palmer. Ball drops on halfway, but Michael Smith can't pick up the loose ball. I tell you, the rain has pretty much completely stopped, although the sodden playing surface might still have 1 or 2 places where the ball may just randomly hold up, Dave Edwards.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult conditions in that first half. Cheltenham copes with it a lot better. They look the more dangerous team. Sheffield Wednesday are going to have to play much better in this second half if they are to return to the top of this League One table.
So the lineups at Southwood in goal for Cheltenham: Long, Taylor and Bradbury the back 3, then Broom, Ray, Perry, Sercombe and Ferry across midfield, Keener and May the front 2. For Sheffield Wednesday, Stockdale the keeper, Palmer, Iorfa, James in the back 3, Hunt, Volks, Backinson, Bannon, Johnson across midfield, Gregory and Smith up front. Just that one enforced change for either side of the first half when Ryan Jackson went off injured for Cheltenham and Taylor Perry came on for him. Throw for Sheffield Wednesday. Jack Hunt's going to take it. One of 3 changes made by Darren Moore tonight to try and freshen things up and get that win that would take the Owls back to the top of League One above Plymouth. A point won't be enough to do that tonight. Here's Lee Gregory down this near side. Winter throw, does he? Well, eventually the assistant gives it as a throw. He sends it in quickly looking for Michael Smith, but he just couldn't bring the ball down as the ball dropped out of the sky. But then there's a barge by Will Ferry on Lee Gregory that gives Sheffield Wednesday a free kick almost by the corner flag right hand side, and Alfie May is giving the assistant a lot of verbal for that decision. 0-0.
Yeah, Cheltenham are frustrated with the linesman because he didn't make a decision early on which way the throw was going to go. Cheltenham thought it was their way, so 2 or 3 Cheltenham players started to walk towards the ball. Lee Gregory already in his hands, and then the last minute the assistant referee on this right hand side decided to give it to Sheffield Wednesday, and that meant Cheltenham right in position, and they nearly got a chance off the back of it. Now they've got a free kick, which I think was out of the frustration that Cheltenham are feeling.
Classic case of the assistant waiting for the referee to make the decision for him.
It certainly was.
Which he didn't do. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Early free kick after the restart for Sheffield Wednesday. The rain starts again at the Completely Suzuki Stadium, sweeping down across the stadium. Bannon standing over this free kick, left-footed, entering her into the near post, bounces up in the 6-yard line, but there's enough red shirts back to get it clear. Just bounced in front of Luke Southwood, but nobody got a touch in a Wednesday shirt. Taylor heads the ball clear at the edge of the box. Volks pushes the referee out of the way. Bannon puts a first-time ball into the box. Volley cleared by Taylor Perry. Reece James now scampering forward for Wednesday. Lovely cross into the box. Smith straight to Southwood, and at the second attempt he palms it over the bar. Diving header from Michael Smith. Southwood did brilliantly to keep that out. Wednesday corner, 0-0.
Fabulous ball into the box from Reece James, striding forward with the ball, picks out a pinpoint perfect cross, and really Michael Smith should score. 7 yards out, whole goal to aim at, heads it straight outside, who does well to keep it out. Took him 2 attempts, but should have scored, Michael Smith.
Corner number 8 for Wednesday. Bannon fires it into the near post, drifts across to the far side. Ryan Broom, a hurried clearance, skies it. Alfie May brings it down under pressure from the Wednesday defender, and eventually it's fired downfield, and The pattern that was starting to set itself toward the end of the first half, Dave Edwards, is commencing at the start of the second, with Sheffield Wednesday starting to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, it happened at the end of that first half where they finally started to get into better positions and force Luke Seifert into saves, and it's continued early on in this second half. Like I say, it's all about the ball from Reece James right across the face of the Cheltenham goal, and Michael Smith won't get many better chances this season. As I said, just outside the 6-yard box, either side of Luke Seifert with the header, and it's a goal, but it's straight at him.
And they were queuing up at that far post. It wasn't just Smith that was there. I think Hunt was behind him as well, and maybe one other Sheffield Wednesday player in blue and white. But it stays 0-0 with 5 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2. Crossing to the near post, and it's Smith again, but it comes off his shoulder this time really rather than his head, and goes out for a goal kick. But plenty of encouragement for those Wednesday fans behind that goal. Another chance created by the blue and white stripes. 0-0 it stays though.
Yeah, again, it's a lot better from Sheffield Wednesday, moving the ball quicker, interlinking play down that left-hand side. There's Johnson who whips the ball in. Michael Smith gets his head to it, but he's just happened to come backwards, so he can't quite get the power and direction on the ball. But much better from Sheffield Wednesday.
Goal kick, one back by Sheffield Wednesday. The ball drops for Ryan Broom, fires the ball up to Sean Lyon halfway. The ball squirts infield. It's picked up by Sheffield Wednesday. Jack Hunt just shy of the halfway line on this near side. Tries to chop inside Will Ferry, and he pushed him over as they both seem to slightly slip, but the referee decided that Hunt was shoving too much into Will Ferry, and Cheltenham get the free kick. 0-0.
Yeah, Will Ferry did well to stand his ground. The ball came out to the right back area to Jack Hunt. He tried to go past Will Ferry in a dangerous position really from the Sheffield Wednesday full-back.
Ray drives the free kick up to the Sheffield Wednesday area, and then Ryan Broom clatters into Reece James, and James is down in a heap just inside the penalty area. That did not look pretty at all, as Ryan Broom went in very, very strong, and the referee just calling for a bit of calm. James is still lying pretty still inside his own penalty area, and the referee, I think, is going to book Ryan Broom for that challenge. 0-0.
Yeah, there's no malice in it from Ryan Broom, but it did look a nasty one as the ball was driven forward into the box and it ricocheted up into the air. And there's Reece James who stooped towards the ball to get it. Ryan Broom looked like he had his eyes fixed on the ball, but crashes into Reece James. It is a foul. He does get a booking.
That's the second Cheltenham booking of the night after Callum Taylor was booked in the first half. Remember, Arsenal 2-0 up at half-time in the Women's Champions League against Bayern Munich at the Emirates. Barcelona already comfortably through. They beat Roma 5-1 today, 6-1 on aggregate to get through to the semi-finals. Keep you in touch with events at the Emirates in the second half. Here on Talksport 2, it's 0-0 at the completely Suzuki. Cheltenham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Wednesday have possession with Jack Hunt, right-hand side, whips the ball into the near post, just went across Barry Bannon, comes out to Volks at the edge of the area, low shot straight at Southwood, but he had to gather it well because there were players in around him who'd have picked up the pieces had he not held on to that.
Once again, Sheffield Wednesday getting into good areas down the side. Jack Hunt on this occasion gets the ball into the box, and as it comes out, Will Volks was there to strike it first time. Wonderful control from Will Volks, watching the ball all the way. And it means that Seifert has to gather it cleanly as it skids off this greasy surface.
Reece James forced to put the ball out of play. I must admit, whatever I've seen of Aidan Keener tonight, I've been very impressed, particularly with his first touch. Kills the ball and allows himself lots of options once he's got the ball in possession. This young Irish striker that Cheltenham picked up from Sligo Rovers. Sean Long will take the throw for Cheltenham. It's almost level with the penalty area right hand side. Sheffield Wednesday should win it back, and they do, but it's only half cleared. Drops at the right hand corner of the box. Perry tries to work it in field. Keener's there again, only half cleared. Glenn Ray onto the loose ball, goes down at the edge of the area, nothing doing, says the referee. Wednesday can't play it out, and Cheltenham have it back with Ryan Broom scheming down the right hand side. And in fact, he wanted a free kick, but the assistant said that's actually a throw to Sheffield Wednesday. So the Owls get a throw. 9 gone. It's lashing down again here at the completely Suzuki Stadium, but still the deadlock waiting to be broken on Talksport 2.
Yeah, no goals. It's been a fabulously entertaining game. The tempo of it, the intensity of it, both teams really trying to stamp their authority on the game. Both had their own spells. Not a lot of the players been in the middle third. It's all been action in the final thirds.
That's a good defensive header by Callum Taylor, because Sheffield Wednesday launched the ball downfield. It was just for a moment 2-on-2, and the bounce of the ball was critical as it bounced near the Cheltenham box for Callum Taylor, running back towards his own penalty area to then nod it back for Luke Southwood, because Michael Smith was right on top of him. Southwood clears from hands from the edge of the penalty area. Might drop for Alfie May inside the area, forces Palmer to clear the ball desperately out to this near side. Kept in play by Sheffield Wednesday, and then down the right hand side, Jack Hunt and Lee Gregory just gave up on it. He thought it was going out of play. He'd not checked his run. He might have been able to keep it in play on this near side, but it ends up being a throw to Cheltenham Town, 0-0.
But these conditions are getting more and more difficult. It's really crashing down the rain now, and it's blowing from our right to left, so the Cheltenham end towards the Sheffield Wednesday end, and Luke Southwood puts a high kick up into the air. Sheffield Wednesday, so hard for him to deal with. Alfie May fortuitously nearly gets in, is well cleared in the end by Dominic Iorfa.
Cheltenham, if they manage to get all 3 points, we've been talking all about what Sheffield Wednesday would do. They go 14th if they got all 3 points tonight. The Robins, they go above Port Vale, Bristol Rovers and Lincoln City. Currently 8 points clear of the relegation zone, and they are pushing Sheffield Wednesday back for the first time really this half. 10 minutes gone in the second period. Cheltenham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. If you're just tuning in to your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Long throw coming into the Sheffield Wednesday box from Will Ferry, the left wing back for the Robins. Right up against the advertising hoardings before he launches himself at the touchline. Throws it into the near post. Callum Taylor tries to get a touch. There's enough Sheffield Wednesday bodies back there to get rid of it, but then it's whacked right onto the top of the stand, which we're sat underneath, and drops out of play for another potential long throw for Cheltenham. 0-0.
It's a fascinating game. As I said before, there's no dead spells in the game. There's no play just in the middle thirds with teams keeping it. It's Cheltenham have a go of the ball for 5 minutes, then Sheffield Wednesday have a go. Real end-to-end stuff. It's been a great game for us to watch, and the fans will be enjoying it, and this first goal is going to be critical.
Another long throw for Cheltenham Town on this near side to us, the left, as they attack the optimising IT stand to our left, that terrace stand packed with Cheltenham supporters. In it comes from Ferry into the near post, flicked on by the red shirts. It drops almost for Sean Long with his back to goal, but there was a Sheffield Wednesday boot in there to clear it downfield, and then the ball is allowed to go out of play by Alfie May. Takes a quick throw for Ryan Broom. May's gone again, but it's overhit, that pass from Ryan Broom, and skims out for a throw. Showdown Saturday on Talksport and Talksport 2 on Saturday. Big games in the Premier League and the Championship. The little matter of Manchester City against Liverpool from 11 on Talksport, followed at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2 by Roy Hodgson's first game back in charge of Crystal Palace as they take on Leicester City. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Talksport 2 with Joe Shannon and Alvin Martin. Meantime, I'll be at Kenilworth Road for Luton against Watford on Talksport 2 at 12:30. Davy Connolly will be alongside me. Can't wait to commentate in front of that post that completely obliterates your view of the goal at the Kenilworth end. Here's Will Ferry for Cheltenham. Diagonal ball, almost reached Alfie May, right hand corner of the box, but good defensive header from Reece James. But the loose ball is picked up by Cheltenham. Glenn Ray works it to the right hand side, and Sean Long. Ray again leaves it for Taylor Perry. Laid off once more to Sean Long, tight to that far touchline, and he works it back to the halfway line. Out to the right hand side it goes from Glenn Ray to Long once more. Really fires the ball in to Taylor Perry. Just won't sit for Cheltenham as they try and find a teammate, but they still manage to work it back to Tom Bradbury in the centre circle. Diagonal ball into the box, headed away by Reece James. Will that drift out of play for a corner? It does indeed. Roar goes up around the stadium. It's only their second corner of the night, Cheltenham. Can they make it count? 0-0.
Yeah, Cheltenham managing to sustain an attack there, keeping the ball for a decent period of time. He arrives at the left centre-back, Tom Bradbury, hits a diagonal ball over Reece James's head, really struggling to deal with it, has to head it out for a corner in the end, and there's an opportunity now for Cheltenham to try and hurt this Sheffield Wednesday defence from this corner.
Liam Sercombe's the man over it. He's taking it short to Will Ferry. Right-hand corner of the box, left-footed delivery. Plenty of pace on it. Across the face of goal, and a brilliant clearance from Sheffield Wednesday. I think it was Reece James that got in the way in the nick of time. Bodies everywhere lying around that 6-yard line, but Wednesday got it clear when it really looked dangerous as we approach the hour mark on Talksport 2, 0-0.
And once again, an inventive corner routine from Cheltenham. Play the short to Will Ferry. He whips a delicious ball across the face of the Sheffield Wednesday defence. Don't know how it hasn't gone in on the back post. Sheffield Wednesday managed to clear their lines in the end. A big opportunity for Cheltenham.
That's Dave Edwards alongside me, Ian Danter. Dave Edwards, former Wolves and Wales midfielder, just taking part in a very successful charity day at one of his old clubs at Shrewsbury against Wolves, raising over, well, you might as well tell us, but over £20,000 for various charities.
Yeah, split between two charities, the Little Rascals Foundation and Shrewsbury Town Foundation. Really successful day. It's a great turnout from some old players I used to play with, and a good game as well for the fans.
And I can confirm David Edwards walked unaided to the press box.
Just about.
Calls that play for a Cheltenham throw on halfway. Really intriguing game. An hour gone. Dominic Iorfa's gone down, clutching his left leg. I'm quite sure what the issue is there for the Giant centre-half, but he's slowly getting back to his feet. I think he's going to be okay to continue without the requirement for any treatment. Our next championship action is Friday night, remember, here on Talksport 2 from 7 o'clock. The runaway leaders Burnley against playoff hopefuls Sunderland at Turf Moor. Mark Wilson and Mickey Gray will be there for full commentary of that game. And next Tuesday and Wednesday next week, we've got 6 exclusive Premier League commentaries for you across the whole Talksport network, including app-only commentaries, including Nottingham Forest Leeds and Liverpool Chelsea. Now here's Cheltenham with a chance. Keena! Aidan Keena! Suddenly from nothing buys Cheltenham in front, and Sheffield Wednesday are getting the away day blues potentially for a third time in succession. It's the young Irishman who just latched on a ball into the box, turned and slotted it neatly past Stockdale, and the Robins are ahead just after the hour. Somebody's chucked a Republic of Ireland flag at Keena, and he's only too happy to drape it round his shoulders. Cheltenham Town 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
A huge goal in this League One battle, and it's been coming in this last 5 minutes. Cheltenham will be the team on top, and the ball breaks out to the left-hand side. Liam Sercombe picks it up, and then a marauding run from the wing-back Will Ferry. Gets beyond him, he gets plated, whips a good ball into the box, only half cleared by Sheffield Wednesday, and he drops at the feet of Aidan Keena 12 yards out. Has the composure to settle himself and plays it high into the right-hand side of the goal. David Stockdale no chance, and Aidan Keena, off the back of his first goal last week, gets his second, and that tops off what has been a terrific performance from the Irishman.
There are similarities between that goal and one of the goals that Wednesday conceded at Barnsley, live on Talksport 2 a week ago. I think it was the one there where Max Watters put them 3-2 up, just a cross into the box and a ricochet defensive touch, and it just broke for the opposing player. But for Max Watters, read Aidan Keena. Sheffield Wednesday are behind again.
And Cheltenham had a few opportunities in, say, the last 5 minutes, where the ball hasn't quite broke for them, whereas on this occasion it did. It was a poor clearance from Sheffield Wednesday, but take nothing away from Aidan Keena. He's in the right spot. His first touch was excellent, sets himself up perfectly, but he didn't lash it then. He took his time and guided it past David Stockdale, and that Sheffield Wednesday goal.
Dead right, he placed it, didn't he?
It's no more than what Cheltenham deserve.
Oh, now a header from Iorfa, might break for Alfie May. Toe pokes it just the wrong side of the post, and he's thumping the turf in frustration. Just a long ball downfield from Cheltenham Town over the head of Keena, but Iorfa, in trying maybe to head it back to his keeper, got his wires crossed, and May stole in behind him and toe poked it just wide. Goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday, 1-0 Cheltenham.
Yeah, time and time again, Sheffield Wednesday struggling with this longer ball, which you wouldn't have thought so with the size of their defence, but it is difficult conditions. and the movement of Alfie May, a constant threat running in behind this Sheffield Wednesday defence, and Dominic Iorfa gets mixed up, and it looked like when Alfie May got into that position he should have done better.
Now long ball downfield asking Michael Smith to give chase, but Tom Bradbury comes across from the left hand side of the defence to right to nod it out of play for a throw in. Darren Moore in deep consultation with his coaching staff, deciding what to do from the bench. Remember, Malik Wilkes is back amongst these Sheffield Wednesday substitutes, and boy how they've missed his pace and drive. Back from injury, maybe he's going to be one of the ones introduced, but meantime Wednesday have a throw hurled into the Cheltenham box. It bounces around the penalty spot. Sercombe gets there just ahead of Volks, brought down on the chest of Taylor Perry, and he launches it downfield. Stockdale will collect the ball just inside his 18-yard box.
And Dominic Iorfa doesn't look comfortable. He went down a minute ago. Looks like he may need to come off.
Yeah, he's holding the top of his right foot, or by his ankle perhaps. That's where he appears to be feeling discomfort. Akin Famewo is an obvious replacement at centre half. Just looking to see, is it Jaden Brown that's coming on? I can't quite see down there because so many coaching staff. Aidan Flint, I think, is going to be coming on. It is indeed Aidan Flint, one of the players dropped for tonight's match with his hair in the headband. It's going to be a straight swap for Dominic Iorfa, Dave Edwards.
Yeah, Dominic Iorfa looks like he's picked up a little bit of a knock. It's been an uncomfortable evening for Dom Iorfa, though. The movement, the constant threat in behind of Alfie May, and the movement of Aidan Keener has caused this Sheffield Wednesday defence all sorts of problems all evening. And Aidan Flint now coming on. He'll be hoping to have an impact in both boxes, especially from an attacking sense of view. He's well known for being aggressive in the opposition's box and getting his head on things. It might come down to something like that for Sheffield Wednesday, who haven't recovered well since that Cheltenham goal.
He knows this part of the world pretty well. He was a Bristol City player 10 years ago, made nearly 250 appearances for the other Robins in the West Country. On loan from Stoke at the moment here at Sheffield Wednesday, yet to score. So he's on as Sheffield Wednesday's first change. A goal down as we're approaching the midway point of the second half. Live on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Another fascinating League One game being playing out, and no doubt we'll have listeners who are Ipswich Town fans, Plymouth fans, Barnsley, Derby fans, all intrigued as to how Sheffield Wednesday are getting on here. Well, if you're just tuning in, Sheffield Wednesday are behind once again. This time Aidan Keener, the young Irish striker, putting Cheltenham ahead on the out, and that's the way it is at the moment. Dave Edwards.
Yeah, well, difficult conditions here in Cheltenham, like it was at Forest Green for Sheffield Wednesday, but Cheltenham have looked the sharper side. They've been the ones trying to make things happen more often than not. First the balls, it's understandable. Sheffield Wednesday played a lot of games in recent days where Cheltenham have had that break and they look the fresher team at the moment.
Well, they haven't played for 10 days, so they've had a nice rest, but sometimes that can be counterproductive.
Not tonight, though. It does look like they are sort of ready to go. That break's done them good, where Sheffield Wednesday, off the back of 2 defeats and not much recovery time, lots of travelling as well, they're going to have to really dig deep in this final 25 minutes to try and salvage something out of this game.
Well, I'm pretty sure they didn't stay down in Gloucestershire after their defeat on Sunday. No, they did go back up to South Yorkshire.
If it stays like this, they won't want to come down here again.
It's very true. Got Lincoln next at Hillsborough. You just get the horrible feeling for Sheffield Wednesday. It could all come down to the last game of the season against Derby County. Now a shot from the edge of the area by Perry, comes out to May. It's 2-0. Taylor Perry took a shot. Stockdale can only parry it out. And guess who was on the scene for 5 goals in 5 games? It's Alfie May. And Sheffield Wednesday have hit the buffers again in their attempts to get back to the top of League One. Cheltenham Town have got other ideas. Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday are on the ropes. There's a vicious shot from Taylor Perry. We spoke about it before the match, the conditions about goalkeepers when it hits the greasy surface. Can they parry it out of danger? But Alfie May was on the move. What all good strikers do. He doesn't give it up. He gets ahead of the Sheffield Wednesday defence, and as David Stockdale can only parry it 5 or 6 yards back into a dangerous area, Alfie May's there. He's on the spot, clinical into the bottom corner, and Cheltenham have been terrific in this last 15 minutes. Have taken this game away from Sheffield Wednesday, and they're going to need a huge reaction now.
Just over 20 minutes to save themselves here, Sheffield Wednesday, as Alfie May gets his 14th of the season. Now Sheffield Wednesday coming forward is Volks to the right hand side, and Hunt almost at the right hand corner of the box lays it off to Backinson, deep ball to the far post, volleyed into the near post and behind for a corner kick. Sheffield Wednesday were about to bring Malik Wilks on before that second goal went in. I think he's been asked to sit down just for a moment by Darren Moore, but with 20 minutes to go, they need pace, they need goals, they need something. They've got a corner, they're 9th of the game. Swung in right footed under the crossbar, fisted away by Southwood. Bannon picks up the loose ball, right hand corner of the area. He's suddenly got Hunt on the overlap, doesn't use him. Instead he rolls it back to the edge of the area. A drive towards goal by Flint, but it doesn't come anywhere for Sheffield Wednesday. Again, not a great deal of conviction in the strike. Instead it comes out to David Stockdale, almost at the halfway line, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. Flint flicks it on down the right hand side of the area, across the face of goal by Bannon, but well claimed at his near post by Southwood. Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0 on Talksport 2.
We can expect to see this pattern now play for the rest of this game. Sheffield Wednesday load in the box, Aidan Flint staying up from the corner, trying to use their physical prowess in this game to try and get themselves back into it. But at the moment Cheltenham are standing strong to that.
And you heard that stat earlier. I'll just break off for a minute because Alfie May's making that charge down the right hand side again for Cheltenham, but in backheeling it to keep it in play, he's presented possession to Reece James, just lumps it downfield. Good touch from Michael Smith. Gregory lofts it neatly out to this near side for Jack Hunt. He lays it off for Bannon. Backinson calling for it infield, but Bannon hits a diagonal ball up to the corner of the area, nodded down but only as far as Ryan Broom, who is being fouled, says our referee, and Cheltenham have themselves a free kick. Yeah, Alan Biggs earlier in that really good piece we heard before kick-off saying that when they concede Sheffield Wednesday, they've only won 4 of 16 games in which they've conceded. So here they are 2-0 down. Even the chances of a draw at this point look remote.
Yeah, they've really have been rocked since that first Cheltenham goal. They haven't composed themselves at all. I think that's what Darren Moore's trying to do. It looked like he's going to bring on Wilkes, but the second goal goes in. He looks like he's trying to compose himself as a manager and try and methodically work a way back into this game. But at the moment, apart from long balls into the box and corners,
well, Backinson looks for Gregory with a long ball over the top, but he just can't bring it out the sky. Sailed over his head and out for a goal kick. And a few Sheffield Wednesday fans drifted away back to the car parks and the coaches when that second goal went in from Alfie May to make it 2-0. Here comes the change, and it's an attacking one. Tyreek Backinson is being withdrawn to allow the return of Malik Wilks to the Sheffield Wednesday forward line. Be interesting to see where he actually goes and plays, Dave Edwards.
Yeah, he'll improve them attacking the way he carries the ball. Very powerful runner. Looks like he's going to drift into that midfield area and almost play behind the front two of Gregory and Smith. Need to try and get him on the ball and get him running at that Cheltenham defence. Trying to commit players. That's something they haven't been able to do at all. Sheffield Wednesday go past the man.
Aidan Flint's attempted header clear almost broke for Liam Sercombe. But again, Sheffield Wednesday looking to hit the ball into the channels and ask Gregory and Smith to run after it, but Caleb Taylor puts the ball out of play. It does give Sheffield Wednesday a throw, almost level with the Cheltenham penalty area. Referee just doing up his bootlaces. 17 minutes to go on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, and once again on this channel, Sheffield Wednesday have it all to do away from home. 2-0 down at Cheltenham. Long throw coming in from the left-hand side, but it's only cleared away. But Reece James lost the ball back into the box. Might drop for Michael Smith. Across came Ryan Broom and toe poked it behind for Sheffield Wednesday's 10th corner of the game. at 2-0 down.
They're loading up the box now, Sheffield Wednesday, hoping something breaks them. You must say it is a little bit hopeful at the moment. They're just hoping that something breaks them. They're not being able to construct an attack to try and pull this Cheltenham defence apart. It's long balls into the channel, balls into the box, and at the moment Cheltenham are standing strong.
Corner at the Hazelwood stand end for Sheffield Wednesday. Bannon sends it in, strongly headed clear by Caleb Taylor, but Sheffield Wednesday retain possession on the halfway line through Reece James, just running through the centre circle. James is going to go for a goal from 50 yards out, watched all the way by Southwood, and it's sailed over the crossbar. You saw the back pages of tomorrow's papers, I think, Reece James, with that effort.
Well, I just said that Sheffield Wednesday's attacks are hopeful, and that was definitely that.
That's the definition of hope.
Striding forward over the halfway line and trying to shoot from all of 35 yards, and it sails over the Cheltenham bar. But you look at the big turning point in the game as Michael Smith's headed just after half-time, an opportunity to go 1-0 up. A glaring miss really for a strike of his quality. Should be scoring. It didn't go in, but apart from that, Sheffield Wednesday have created very little. They're going to have to try and find something. I feel like they need more runners from midfield. They need people running beyond the front two. At the moment, as I say, it's back to front, trying to spin Cheltenham into their own channels, and it's just not working at the moment.
Dave Edwards alongside me, Ian Dancer on commentary at the Completely Suzuki. Wilkes trying to spin away from his marker down the left-hand side. He's won a throw. Looks like Wilkes is really ostensibly joining in with Gregory and Smith as a front three now for Sheffield Wednesday, and it's actually a free kick that's been given for a pull on the shirt of Malik Wilkes. So Bannon from out on the left-hand touchline, midway point of the Cheltenham half. Cheltenham holding their line at the edge of the 18-yard box. Flint and Palmer standing in an offside position just for a moment. Now it comes in. Flint gets the header down, and that's one back for Sheffield Wednesday. Aidan Flint halves the arrears and gives Sheffield Wednesday hope with less than quarter of an hour to play. Lovely delivery from Bannon, and Flint rose highest, one of those giants in the Sheffield Wednesday side, planted the header low beyond Southwood. It's Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
They've been loading the box, Sheffield Wednesday waiting for that opportunity. Barry Bannon with a delicious ball in from that left-hand side, and once it's in the area of Aidan Flint, when he came on we said how good he is in the opposition's box. He remains strong, and not just that, a terrific downward header, passes to spare in Southwood in the Cheltenham goal, zips off the wet surface, and Sheffield Wednesday given a lifeline.
It's his first goal in his loan spell, Aidan Flint, and Sheffield Wednesday now have 13 minutes or so to try and find an equaliser and avoid a third successive defeat in League One. Cheltenham will want a free kick, and Wilkes just being told by the referee not to get involved on this near touchline. Cheltenham are taking their time over just placing the ball down. It's right in front of where Darren Moore stood at the edge of his technical area. Penny for his thoughts right now, Dave Edwards.
It'll be a lot better after seeing that goal go back in. As I said, they'll be trying to get some momentum off the back of that.
Circum with the free kick for Cheltenham, looping up to the edge of the area, headed away by Sheffield Wednesday. Bannon tries to lay it off. Brilliant challenge by Circum, and it might break at the edge of the area for Keener, and the shot was well held right in front of goal by David Stockdale, because Keener got right behind that. 2-1 Cheltenham.
Terrific hit from Aidan Keener. 20-25 yards out, he strikes it firm with his right foot, bouncing in front of Stockdale, and he gathers it gratefully into his midriff.
Oh, what a ball from Bannon. James on the left-hand side, looking for Gregory near post, headed away by Taylor. Slightly heavy touch by Taylor Perry. Sheffield Wednesday won it back. Reece James inside the box, tries to backheel it. Will it break for a blue and white stripe shot? No, it's cleared away hurriedly. But it's worked out to Jack Hunt, right-hand corner of the area, drives it in near post along the deck, and it's sent out back towards him by Bradbury. He keeps it in play, tries to nutmeg Will Berry, but he read that and slid it out of play for a throw-in. Now Sheffield Wednesday asking more and more questions, looking for an equaliser.
It's amazing what a goal does. Sheffield Wednesday now are on the front foot. They're the one getting to those second balls. They're the ones pushing forward. They look like they found a little bit of energy from somewhere.
Will Vox will take the long throw, but not before the referee wants to sort out a bit of pushing and shoving that he's spotted in that Cheltenham penalty area. I think he's happy with the way things have been tidied up, so it will be a throw that Vox will hurl into the near post. Flint tries to get the flick on, goes out off Caleb Taylor, another corner to Sheffield Wednesday. I wonder if any of those Wednesday fans who left at 2-0 have snuck back in. Bannon will take the corner kick. Left-footed in swinger. There's going to be a change made before the corner is struck by Cheltenham Town. And Aidan Keener, who's been excellent tonight, scored the opener, gets a warm round of applause as the man who's just joined from Stoke City, Will Goodwin, scored in the quarter-final win of the Football League Trophy against Salford here. And played the first half of the season at Torquay United. Scored against Derby in the FA Cup, actually. Tall striker, but he's got some defending to do as he comes on for Keener. Bannon about to strike this latest corner in for Sheffield Wednesday. Into the near post, and it's almost Will Goodwin's first touch. It is his first touch. Out to the edge of the area. Volks tries to volley it back in. There's enough red shirts back to get it clear. But the ball's put back into the Cheltenham box by Jack Hunt. Flint heads it up in the air. Marvin Johnson might break here inside the area for Gregory. Fires it over the bar from 10 yards. Just got underneath it. It's like it's the 90th minute, not the 80th minute, but it remains Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Yeah, all Sheffield Wednesday, and another big chance, this time forward to Lee Gregory. It was a diagonal ball into the box, and Aidan Flint's introduction is causing all sorts of problems to Cheltenham. They can't clear their lines when the ball goes in and around Flint, and as it comes back into the box, it drops to Lee Gregory, and he manoeuvres it ever so well onto his left foot. 12 yards out, just leaning back slightly, left-footed over the bar, but much better from Sheffield Wednesday.
And yet it stays 2-1 to Cheltenham Town here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Wednesday are not done yet. They've got 10 minutes or so to try and get something out of this game. A point wouldn't be enough to take them top, but of course it would arrest the run of defeats, which currently stands at 2. And remember, before the games against Barnsley and Forest Green, they'd only lost at Plymouth and Peterborough away so far this season. Sheffield Wednesday, Flint playing at centre-half just for the moment, finds Bannon inside his own half, fires it down to Reece James, got to give it back to Bannon, just knocks it in field along the halfway line to Volks, and further along from left to right to pick out Liam Palmer. Hunt's calling for it on this near touchline. First time ball in field for Wilkes, who can scurry in field. Important touch from Glenn Ray, and then a foul on Will Ferry means that Cheltenham get a free kick. And this last 10 minutes or so, if we factor in minimum stoppage time, will be fairly breathless stuff, I reckon, Dave Edwards. 2-1 Cheltenham.
Yeah, I imagine so. Cheltenham are now going to have to try and slow this game down, try and take some of this momentum that Sheffield Wednesday have found since getting that goal back through Aidan Flint. Seems to be wave after wave of attack at the moment.
A word for Aidan Keener on his performance. It's just gone off.
Yeah, as I say, Wade Elliott's looked to the bench, and Aidan Keener's been terrific, but you can see why he's made the substitution. Will Goodwin, who works ever so hard, but also brings a bit more physicality from a defensive point of view, whilst these corners and free kicks are going to be coming into Cheltenham's box, you can imagine. But Aidan Keener, he'll be happy with his night's work.
Bit of housery from Alfie May and a Cheltenham fan in that far end. Alfie May let the ball go out for a Sheffield Wednesday goal kick, and then handed the ball to a spectator, keeping it away from Stockdale. Honestly,
I think it was one of his mates he was giving the ball to.
Yeah. Done extremely well, Alfie Mason. It's coming here from Doncaster Rovers, real fan favourite. And it was his second goal that looked to have set the seal on victory for Cheltenham Town, but it's by no means assured here on Talksport 2. 2-1 the score. Cheltenham still in front, but they will have more defending to do, you can be sure of that, before the night's out. Here's Liam Palmer getting up towards the halfway line for Sheffield Wednesday. Hunt tucks it in field for Will Volks. Wilkes trying to hold it up, but there's a foot in from Tom Bradbury, and away goes Liam Sercombe down the Cheltenham left. Volks slides in, goes out of play for a throw into the Robins down this near side the left. 2-1.
Cheltenham have recovered well these last couple of minutes. They've won a couple of free kicks, a few throw-ins, slowing the game down, so allowing their defence to get higher up the pitch. But the introduction of Aidan Flint has definitely caused big problems for Cheltenham. All in all, Caleb Taylor has dealt really well with Michael Smith, and off corners he's won a lot of headers. But Aidan Flint is a different beast inside the box, and they've not been able to get those clearances away as well.
Here's Will Ferry down the left-hand side for Cheltenham. Got two Sheffield Wednesday players on him. They dispossessed him. Won it back though, Will Ferry, whilst he was on the deck. And Liam Palmer, lovely pass inside his own area, got it in between two on-rushing Cheltenham players to find Bannon, who in turn finds Reece James. Out to the left-hand side, brought in field by Johnson, just turns, pirouettes and finds Bannon again left-hand side. Tries to slide it back for Johnson, who made a run on the underlapping field. Cheltenham just bang it up to halfway, but Sheffield Wednesday get possession back. Liam Palmer knocks it up for Will Volks just shy of the halfway line. He lofts it down the inside right channel. Comfortable header won by Tom Bradbury for Cheltenham. Ferry clatters the ball downfield, but again it's back with Sheffield Wednesday. Bannon keeps the ball away from the sliding Alfie May and then drifts a lovely
beautiful pass
out to the left hand side for Reece James. Cultured stuff from Barry Bannon, who has it again midway point of the half, slides it down the left hand side, but that is a collector's item from Barry Bannon. An overhit pass intended for Reece James. Even the heavy pitch didn't help him out and hold that up. 5 minutes to go on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, this Wednesday night at the Completely Suzuki. Cheltenham Town, 4 unbeaten going into this game tonight, are still leading first place, chasing Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1. David Edwards.
Yeah, they've been terrific, Cheltenham Town, all game. I know Sheffield Wednesday have had a good spell in this last 15 minutes, but Cheltenham Town have been excellent. They just need to make sure their front two can still stay in the game. In the last few minutes, clearances have just been coming straight back, recycling possession. Sheffield Wednesday, Alfie May and Will Goodwin haven't been managing to get onto the ball whatsoever.
Here's Wilkes, does well, just over the halfway line, finds Will Volks. Bannon again, just lets the ball run across his body and flicks it to his left for James. James whips the ball into the box. Wilkes with a header, free header, he's put it wide. Around the penalty spot, another lovely ball in from the Wednesday left, this time from Reece James. Wilkes running onto it, didn't plant his head in it the way he wanted, and it skims wide for a Cheltenham goal kick, 2-1.
Reece James has put in some terrific deliveries in this second half, and this time striding forward midway inside the Cheltenham half and whips the ball across the face of the Cheltenham defence. 2 Sheffield Wednesday players were there, Wilkes and Michael Smith just behind him. But it's Wilkes who took on the header, never looked convincing, never looked to really be aggressive his header, tried to just glance it, and in the end it goes wide of Luke Southwood's left hand post.
Seconds tick away, 4 to play on Talksport 2. Cheltenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And Cheltenham put a long ball downfield. Alfie May's after it, but it'll just run through to David Stockdale. A couple of changes being readied. Looks like Dennis Adeniran's coming on shortly, but here's Michael Smith for Wednesday, across the face of goal and in! It's Lee Gregory to make it 2-2! Wednesday have hauled it back, and Lee Gregory gets his 3rd goal in 3 games, scored 2 at Barnsley, and gets the equaliser here with 3 to play. And Michael Smith got the ball to the byline, whipped a lovely centre in, and Lee Gregory did the rest from 2 yards out. It's Cheltenham Town 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. They're not done yet.
Oh, what a game of football that this League One is producing again this evening. Michael Smith, terrific. He runs the channel so well, but it's his own touch which takes him into the channel on this occasion. And then he puts the most wonderful cross along that corridor of uncertainty. The Cheltenham Town defence cannot risk getting a toe on it. They'll score an own goal, but Lee Gregory operating where he does best, and that is a poacher's finish 2 or 3 yards out of the back post. And Sheffield Wednesday now in position to go and get this 3 points.
Well, the way they just fired the ball downfield, they're not done yet. They feel they can win it. Meantime, Cheltenham are making a substitution, and Liam Sercombe is coming off, and Charlie Raglan, who's been here for about 4 years now since leaving Oxford United, is coming on in his place. Alfie May was incandescent as the players went back to the halfway line after that goal went in. He was giving his defenders a right old volley for the way that they allowed that equaliser to come about.
He wasn't happy, but from those recovering defenders, like I said, when they go quicker, Sheffield Wednesday, Cheltenham are running back towards their own goal. They can't risk getting a touch on that cross. They'll carry it into the net themselves, and Lee Gregory was just in the right place at the right time on the back post.
Very similar to a goal he scored at Barnsley, in actual fact, but the cross was from the opposite side of the field on that occasion. coming into the last minute of normal time. 2-2 on Talksport 2. Ball's high in the air, headed up by Volks around the centre circle, drops on the halfway line for Palmer, instantly looks for Bannon. Bannon knocks the ball long downfield looking for Michael Smith, cleared away by Bradbury. Malik Wilkes trying to get to the second ball, bit of head tennis, gets it half clear for Cheltenham, but again Wednesday on it, and now Malik Wilkes making strides down the right wing, gets to the byline, faced up by Bradbury, tries to fire the crossing, but it's ricocheted out of play on this near side for a Wednesday throw. The Owls still believe they can do this, Dave Edwards.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming when Cheltenham went 2-0 up. Sheffield Wednesday looked rattled, but they've redeemed themselves really well. They showed that fight and desire and ultimately some quality to get back into the game, and now it's Cheltenham on the ropes.
Wilkes tries to win a corner. It's just been given as a throw right down in front of those Wednesday fans to our right, who are willing the ball into the back of the net, and it's going to be another long throw coming in from Will Volks. We've got seconds of normal time to go. We're about to find out how much the referee's going to add on for minimum stoppage time here at the end of the match. 2-2. In it comes from Will Volks to the near post, headed up in the air by Flint. Hunt heads it back towards the 6-yard line. 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time. That's what we're into now on Talksport 2. Wednesday have got time to win this, although they've just conceded a free kick, a foul on Will Ferry, and Cheltenham will take their time to get this ball back downfield. Thrilling end to the game, 2 apiece.
Yeah, ball into the box, and Will Ferry and Lee Gregory are both grappling each other, looked like, and the Sheffield Wednesday supporters were screaming for a penalty, but the referee gives it the other way, and a little bit of respite now for Cheltenham just to try and take a breather. They need to try and get themselves higher up the pitch because it's ball after ball into their box at the moment.
Well, they're just bringing on Dennis Adeniran for Jack Hunt, who's just limping off to this near side. So central midfielder for right wing back, just going to pile bodies forward anyway, Sheffield Wednesday. So we played nearly a minute of the minimum 6 that have been added on here at the Completely Suzuki. Free kick for Cheltenham inside their own penalty area. Whacked downfield by Southwood. Goodwin went up for a header, went over his head, and Sheffield Wednesday marshalled the ball behind for a goal kick of their own, taken quickly by Stockdale, and Liam Palmer will motor towards the halfway line out to this near touchline, hits a diagonal ball infield, a fight ball for Smith, won't get there. Bradbury heads it clear, volley back downfield, with the attempted volley back downfield goes straight out of play for a Cheltenham throw on this near side. How much ambition did Cheltenham want to show in these final few minutes? Doesn't appear like a great deal, David.
No way they'll be happy with this 1 point they've got at the moment. They've reinforced the defence by bringing Raglan an extra bit of height in that back three.
As listeners from Talksport join us here at the Completely Suzuki Stadium, we're into 6 minutes of added time. It is Cheltenham Town 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. It looked done and dusted when Cheltenham went 2-0 up with just over 20 minutes to play. First, the Irishman Aidan Keener put them in front just after the hour. Alfie May, with 5 goals in 5 games, made it 2-0. And Wednesday, looking to go top of the league with a win tonight, suddenly found themselves 2 goals down and heading for 3 straight league defeats. But Aidan Flint with a header from a wonderful ball in from the left from Barry Bannon, and Lee Gregory with a close range finish have levelled matters, and we are in the 3rd minute of 6 that have been added on here in Gloucestershire. David Edwards, former Wolves and Wales midfielder, alongside me. Does this scoreline reflect the way that the game has gone for you, David?
Well, it's been the most fascinating game, action-packed in both boxes. Say Cheltenham had the better of the game for the first 60 minutes, but going 2-0 down, Sheffield Wednesday have come back so strong. It's been attack after attack, loading up the Cheltenham box.
Well, here comes Cheltenham, but Alfie May is offside as he picks up the ball right-hand side. He tried cheekily to chip David Stockdale from the tightest of angles, but it ends up being a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. So Sheffield Wednesday, who will go back on top with a win. A point is not enough to go above Plymouth, who don't play in the league again this weekend. They've got the Papa John's Trophy final against Bolton live on Talksport 2 on Sunday afternoon to Argyle. And Sheffield Wednesday have had 3 chances to go top of the pile. They failed at Barnsley just over a week ago. They failed at Forest Green on Sunday lunchtime, and they're only picking up a point here. But there's time for them to win it. Liam Palmer fires the ball downfield for Wednesday, high into the sky, headed away by Glenn Ray for Cheltenham. Will Goodwin Right, a couple of challenges in the centre circle. Looks to send Ryan Broom away for Cheltenham down the right-hand side. Not many joining him in this attack, but Broom skips inside his man, into the area, angles tight and fires it over the top for a goal kick. Suddenly, it broke for Ryan Broom inside the area, but Wednesday had enough players back to put him off. Goal kick 2-2.
Oh, sensational stuff from Ryan Broom down that right-hand side. Quick footwork, eludes himself past two Sheffield Wednesday defenders, and then just at the vital moment, lacks that composure as he fires it over the Sheffield Wednesday bar. But an opportunity for Cheltenham to snatch those 3 points.
2 minutes to go of added time, plus whatever the referee wants to add on beyond that. Malik Wilkes for Sheffield Wednesday finds Barry Bannon in the centre of the Cheltenham half. He spreads it out to the left-hand side of Marvin Johnson, left-hand corner of the box, faced up by Sean Long, tries to go on the outside of him to the byline, pulls the cross back to the far post, and Adeniran lifted over the bar from 6 yards out. It broke for Dennis Adeniran, brought it down, and he tried to put it into the back of the net with his instep, but he lofted it over the crossbar for a Cheltenham goal kick. 2-2.
Oh, what a huge chance for Sheffield Wednesday. Once again, it's good work down that left-hand side. That's where they've been a threat in this second half. And it was Marvin Johnson gets himself to the byline, digs out across to the back post, and it arrived at Adeniran. Didn't look confident as it dropped him. He tried to guide it with his instep into the Cheltenham goal, but lifts it over the bar. What a chance.
Goal kick sent downfield for Cheltenham by Luke Southwood. We're into the final minute of the minimum 6 that have been added on here in Gloucestershire. One more chance maybe for Sheffield Wednesday to pile forward. It's Adeniran who's just had that really good opportunity, steaming down this near right-hand side, forces Will Ferry to put the ball out of play for a throw. This is going to go into the box courtesy of a long throw from Will Volks, who drives the ball under his blue and white striped jersey. The box is packed with players from both sides. In it comes from Volks into the near post. Aidan Flint tries to help it on. Anywhere will do for Cheltenham to get it clear. They do get it clear into the centre circle. It's with Liam Palmer. Hits a Hail Mary downfield, looking for Michael Smith. Headed out to the edge of the area. Will Volks with a drive off the post and out of play, and that's the final action of the game. Wednesday players sink to their knees on the field because they've dropped points again in their bid to get to the top of the table, but they were within the width of a post of winning it here at Cheltenham with the last kick of the game. Well, Will Volks denied by the upright, but they did come back from 2 goals down this time, did Sheffield Wednesday. Aidan Keener and Alfie May had Cheltenham 2-0 up with just over 20 minutes to play, and you thought that was that. But Aidan Flint with a header and Lee Gregory with a close range finish on 87 got Wednesday level, and they had 2 wonderful chances to win it in added time. First, Adeniran at the far post managed to contrive to lift the ball over the bar from close range, and as you just heard there, the last kick of the game, right-footed effort from Will Volks from the edge of the box, smacked against the post and away. Finishes 2-2, and Wednesday do not go top, David Edwards.
No, a missed chance from Sheffield Wednesday, but they showed courage to get back into the game. At 2-0 down, they were really on the ropes and looked out of it, but they recovered. They kept putting the ball in the box, and then they got their reward, got back on level terms, and then what a hit from Will Volks in the final touch of the game. Thunders against the post, inches away from getting the winner, but what a terrific game. What an advert for League One football. Both teams going for it right the way through the 90 minutes in horrific conditions here at Cheltenham, but such an entertaining game.
And we so nearly had a winner to cap it all, but Will Volks just couldn't find the back of the net. The post denies Sheffield Wednesday all 3, and they stay in second spot in League One, a point behind Plymouth, with this full-time score after a breathless 90-plus minutes in Gloucestershire. It finished Cheltenham Town 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2.